It's like the Game of Thrones opening sequence.
I mean, not much, but stuff.
I didn't expect to get what we got today. And it's not a lot, but it's also so much at the same time. And I the music really does hit because things did not end great for him last we saw.
Yeah.
So I can't imagine he's gonna be as peppy as usual.
Welcome back to the Breakroom. Headlines on a Friday. We gotta talk about it. Hit that graphic, Brian. I am John Costa. Joining me today, he's the spider of two Rockstars. It's Zach Huddleston.
I've got 8 legs. You can only see 2 of them.
But your arms?
Okay, well you can't see any.
Legs.
You can't see any of them.
And she's back. It's Jamie Jirak.
Yeah.
What an honor to be here twice in 1 week.
So happy to have you.
Really,
So
3
pleased.
times
Oh, I
from
guess
their
that's
point
true.
of view.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. And a great show to have you on. Look, if you're a Spider-Man fan, and I'm assuming you are, go to nerdriot.shop. We've got a bunch of great Spider-Man designs, including this kind of newest shirt.
Now, John, is that an official collab with Imagine Dragons?
Unfortunately, no.
Oh, okay.
My favorite band. The greatest rock band of the 21st century.
That's confirmed.
But we grabbed all of the sort of like movie spiders that have bit various Peter Parkers or Miles Morales'. I think we have some from the
Spider-Verse one is in there.
Well, and also the video game.
Oh, yeah.
Unfortunately, we've never seen an MCU spider. We didn't get that origin, so nothing to show there. But, you know, we've got Tobey Maguire, we've got Andrew Garfield, we've got some video game stuff, we got the Spider-Verse stuff. I think this is a fun little shirt. They're all hanging out together. So check out nerdriot.shop if you want to pick this one up. Okay, let's get into the news. We knew that Spider-Man Brand New Day was going to start production today. We didn't know that we were going to get some tasty little morsels, not only about the suit design and potentially some stuff coming out over the weekend. Sony teased that there's more info to come, but haven't put that out at the time of recording this. But we also got some new casting news. So why don't we first take a look at that little tiny, like 8-second teaser that Sony put out.
It's like the Game of Thrones opening sequence.
I mean, not much, but stuff. There is some stuff, right? Do you try to interpolate some of the tone of the movie? It's kind of a sad, like, darker take.
I think Eric pointed out those are the opening kind of keys slowed down to the Michael Giacchino Spider-Man theme.
Yep.
I think he also posted just the music on Michael Giacchino did on his account. Yeah.
Having a great couple of weeks with a great score for Fantastic Four.
Stays winning.
Also, the little kind of raised Tobey Maguire-esque kind of webbing on the suit itself. I saw people online excited about that. I love that you guys care so much that is something to get excited about. I think the most of the Tom Holland suits have been a little muted. Even the spider itself is like this kind of like weird stylized thing. I don't know. What do you guys make out of this teaser?
It just makes me feel good.
Yeah.
I didn't expect to get what we got today. And it's not a lot, but it's also so much at the same time. And the music really does hit because things did not end great for him last we saw.
Yeah.
So I can't imagine he's gonna be as peppy as usual.
Well, and it's interesting. I think we're gonna get into more of the cast in a second here, but like the Punisher is obviously a character that's gonna be in this movie. That
Real
makes
happy
me
guy.
think it's gonna be on the darker side.
Yeah, it's interesting to strike a somber tone because like you could make a good argument other than the like more full-blown comedic properties within the MCU. Like Spider-Man ones tend to be like lighter. He's coming of age.
Yeah.
He's a younger man. Obviously, heavy stuff happens in them, including M.A. But yeah, this is definitely setting a somber tone, maybe a more serious tone. I mean, both Tom Holland and Peter Parker are older gentlemen. Now, they've already. I mean, Tom Holland is already.
This is college year 1, theoretically, right?
Yeah. Who knows? We could be jumping forward more in time, right? We don't know that this is picking up right where No Way Home left off. But maybe before we get too much more into what the tone might be like, I guess we already had confirmation that Frank Castle Don Barenthal's Punisher, will be in this film.
Yeah.
In some, we don't know to what extent. And then
Sadie Sink also was confirmed.
Sadie Sink has been confirmed as
So
well.
many ideas.
Yes, we might speculate on that, as well as the actress whose name I'm currently forgetting, who is on The Bear.
Liza. That's all I got.
Yes, Jeff
Plays
or whatever.
Tina on the
Yes.
on the Bear.
She again, we don't know the roles that Sadie Sink or the Bear
Yeah, good
actress
point.
are going to be playing. I bet they're just waitress number 1 and waitress number 2. You know what I mean? They deliver a Reuben on rye, and we never hear them.
Yeah, I mean, we got Eben Moss-Backrack in Fantastic Four, and he made a pasta sauce.
That's
you know,
right.
so get all those Bear actors
It's in
into
the contract.
Yeah, exactly.
They gotta
have to cook. They have to
Yes.
cook.
No.
Liza Cologne Zayas.
Thank you.
Is her name.
In an as yet unconfirmed role. But interesting to announce your casting in advance. And then we just got literally moments before we went live 2 more castings confirmed.
Yeah, long rumored
big
that
ones.
we were going to get a Hulk in this movie, whether that be Professor Hulk, Smart Hulk, whatever you want to call him, or I think a lot of rumors are pointing to a Savage Hulk type of situation here. But yeah, within the last 10 minutes, Mark Ruffalo, now confirmed by the Hollywood Reporter, is going to be in this film. Also, hey, do you guys remember Spider-Man Homecoming from forever ago?
My favorite
That
Spider-Man
post-credit
movie?
scene that was setting up Scorpion? Michael Mando is confirmed now to kind of come into this movie and reprise the Scorpion role.
We want to give a shout out to Riverside. We use Riverside at New Rockstars to make every single video you see on the channel. Riverside is the easiest way for you to record, edit, and share professional grade video content and podcasts from anywhere in the world. Riverside records your video locally with up to 4K resolution. Even if your internet connection is choppy, your recording isn't. Plus, Riverside uploads your audio and video tracks separately to the cloud while you record. Riverside also takes advantage of cutting-edge AI to make your life easier. With an AI producer that cleans up your ums and uhs, video dub that can flawlessly replicate your voice for pickups, and a Magic Clips tool that can pop out your best clips for easy sharing on social media. We can't recommend it enough. If you create video or audio content, click the link in the description. Use code ROCKSTARS and get 1 month free of Riverside Pro today.
I'm so happy about this.
I love it.
Because Spider-Man Homecoming is my favorite Spider-Man movie, which is not a popular opinion, but it's
A favorite MCU or
Spider-Man.
in total? Oh, okay.
Spider-Man. It's got Michael Keaton in it. It's my favorite
Yeah.
one. But I love Michael Mando. I'm a big Better Call Saul fan.
Yeah.
And I think he's such a great actor. And we've been waiting so long for him to come back. And my thing is, like, last we saw him, he was talking to Michael Keaton. So I don't know. I'm still holding out hope.
Yeah.
Do you think that means that Morbius is going to be in this movie?
No.
The whole prison got kind of lifted and moved into a new universe.
I mean, what are the odds that all of the events of Morbius are never
I think
referenced
no one
ever
is going
again
to
in
ever
any
talk
film?
about that. Speaking of which, I don't think we ever talked about it on this show. It just came out within the last week, now that Ari Aster is doing press for Eddington, is that the movie?
Yeah.
That he was offered Morbius and turned it down.
What
That'd
a
have been
movie
weird.
I'd like to see.
Yeah.
I mean, that might have been a sick Morbius.
I mean, it would have been a lot better than the Morbius
Come
we
on,
got. I
the
have
dude
to
who
say.
did Midsommar doing Morbius? Let's get it. But I think this is interesting timing. There's a couple interesting things. All of this, in theory, there is no direct call to action based on any of this promotion or news, right? Like, this movie is starting filming today, which is an interesting thing to do press around the first day of filming. Also interesting to start your job on a Friday.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
point.
In what other business do you do that? But making movies is weird. They don't necessarily go
Who
Monday
knows?
through Friday.
Maybe it's cheaper to shut down the streets of Glasgow on the weekend.
Yeah.
That wouldn't make sense to me, but who knows?
Probably.
I'm not Scottish.
Scottish people in the chat, go ahead, tell us.
Tell us about
Yeah.
your streets.
What's Saturday traffic like? Yeah, and so some of this could be getting ahead of what they anticipate, maybe paparazzi photos coming out showing Mark Ruffalo on set or whatever. They want to announce it formally before it leaks out informally, maybe.
I think that makes a lot of sense. And there are some other sort of rumored characters, at least, that we're going to talk about here in a second that I would be kind of surprised that we haven't heard about.
The casting of specifically.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. I don't know. Do we want to just hop into that news too?
Yeah, let's get it.
Great. Well, speaking of the set photo stuff that Zach was saying, we're not going to show them here because a lot of times we kind of run into some copyright stuff with photographers. But there have been, if you want to go check them out online, there have been some set photos of what sort of appears to be a interpretation, maybe, of the sort of Inner Demons logo, Mr. Negative's gang. And there was a rumor that came out a couple months ago that Stephen Yeun was sort of rumored to be playing a Mr. Negative Martin Lee. But that hasn't been confirmed yet.
And interesting that they would confirm some cast,
right,
and not all.
Well, because he was supposed to be Sentry, right?
Yes.
He was supposed to be Sentry, and they pushed the filming of that movie, and both him and Ayo Edebiri had to kind of drop out of that film.
I do wonder if they've like just kept him in their back pockets, because like what a good get. I mean, he'd be great.
Yeah.
But it's also like they don't want to lose him again either, which might be why they're not making the announcement.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I think it's interesting that he's now up for 2 sort of villainous roles as well. I don't necessarily...
What's the other villainous role?
Well, Sentry.
Oh, Sentry. What?
Is
John?
Sentry a good guy now?
A lot of people would argue
dare
he's
you,
not a
Bob.
villain.
Bob.
Okay.
He
Trauma.
did some villainous stuff.
Trauma is the villain of that film, John. Yeah, interesting. Yeah, and who knows? Maybe we'll get that announcement tomorrow, Monday.
Yeah.
Who knows?
That's a good point. They say
he-
they're going to be announcing more stuff soon. It would be crazy if the Hollywood Reporter just scooped Sony's PR team.
Oh, yeah.
It was like they had a great Hulk tweet that they were ready to send.
We should run that timeline. So early this morning, we got the 8-second video, and the Marvel accounts also like stay tuned for something coming soon. Of course, not giving us when that soon is. Soon could be a week from now. Soon could be in 20 minutes. As of now, nothing else in that regard.
That's right. And I'll keep my eye on our Slack channels in case something happens while we're on this show.
Because one would assume that it would be something else in the vein of that 8-second clip, maybe. Right? Like another piece of footage, another reveal or something, right?
Right. Maybe a different costume for a different character.
Even just zoom out on that fucking camera.
Give
You
me
know what I mean?
I want to see what the spider looks like on the suit.
And what if it's sleeveless? You know what I mean?
Oh, great.
What if he's wearing jean shorts?
What if you got a little? What if Tom Holland has a little pouch for the Prada perfume that he's now selling?
Oh, let's talk about
and
that.
a bureau on the other side.
Yeah.
In classic Tom Holland cross-promotional fashion, okay? This is a man who's been like, stay tuned for big news tomorrow, and then it's a bureau ad, okay? No shots, get paid, Tom. You know what I mean? Do your thing. On the same day that this is happening, it's also announced that he's the spokesman for a new fragrance from Prada called Paradigm. I'm assuming that's how it's pronounced. It's spelled all funky.
Okay.
And I love the pitch for this. You know, it's just a fancy, expensive cologne, but it's like, the pitch was, it's the scent that asks the question, what if there was another way?
What if there was another way?
That's their official slogan. What if this is a cologne you put up your ass? You know what I mean?
Yeah, let's all do a pitch on what that means. Zach says it's a cologne that you put up your ass. For me, I think, what if there was another way? It also came out in that article that Tom sprays it 5 times. What if there was another way, Tom? What if you only did 2?
Yes.
What if we were a little bit more subtle?
What if the other way is that it's not for you, it's for other people?
Oh my gosh, yeah.
You get other people.
I mean, that is brilliant marketing because you can only
gonna
put
run
so
out of
much
that.
on yourself,
Yeah, you're
but
gonna
you
run
can
out.
put unlimited on other people. Throw in the chat, if you're a kind of person who wears a scent, how much are you doing?
I wear a scent, but sometimes it's not intentional.
Yeah, your scent is BO. Because I've since I was like in high school, mostly out of fear of BO, I'm a 1 spray on skin.
Yeah.
Okay, I would like to think that might be too little, but like you never want to be too much.
But your 1 spray is
Axe
like
body spray.
and you
It's
hold
right,
it down.
I hold it down.
You hold
It's
it down for 10
aerosol.
seconds.
Yeah. And by 1 spray, I'm like, that's just on my junk. No. Whereas in the article, Tom says he does 2 on his body, 2 on his left wrist, then rubs his wrist, and occasionally 1 on his clothes.
Yeah.
Now, that made me think, that seems like a lot to me. Maybe preferences vary. But I wonder also, as a very famous person, if he feels a little bit more pressure to smell good, and maybe like is also given more leeway if that good smell is a little aggressive. Because people are so, probably if you share an elevator with Tom Holland, if you're standing in line at Chipotle behind him, whatever, right?
You're like, that guy smells rich.
Yes, but also the first thought in your brain is not like, oh, what's that smell? The first thought is, oh my God, there's Tom Holland, right? Like,
Good point. Well, and we have to wonder, I was going to say, come on the show, Tom Holland, and talk about your routine. Come on the show, Zendaya. I want to know from you.
What are your preferences?
Was this a request? Is this too much?
Is he spraying you?
He's spraying you? Like Jamie thinks he's just going around spraying random people? Yeah.
Because
We've talked about this for a long time.
Now, I have no inside knowledge on the fidelity of their relationship, and I wish them both well. They're beautiful young people who are very talented. But do you think there is a world, if Tom Holland is catting around, okay, in the classic sense of like, oh, when a guy comes home smelling of perfume, lipstick on the collar, glitter on himself or whatever,
you think he's
right?
cheating?
That's how you get caught. But if you are overwhelmingly scented yourself, you cannot then get any scent from anybody else.
I don't think you cheat on Zendaya.
No,
Of course
that would
not.
be insane.
Of course
be
not.
clear.
But
Now-
here's what I'll say: the most beautiful people in the history of the world have been cheated on.
You're right.
No matter how attractive and
Right,
successful
sorry, Angelina Jolie.
and talented you
Or
are,
was it,
somebody will cheat
Laura
on you.
Dern.
Oh, that's horrible. That's horrible to hear.
Wait,
The same line.
wait, who cheated on him?
Didn't Billy Bob leave Laura Dern for Angelina Jolie?
Oh, that's right.
I would leave Billy Bob as the answer. And also, here's another theory. Like I said, this show
The rest of the show's mostly gonna
barely
be
been
Cologne
written.
talk.
This show has barely been written. All this news broke very quickly. What if on Dune 2, Timothée Chalamet had a signature scent, and Tom was like, "I don't want Zendaya, stepping out and going over."
I
and
mean,
hanging out with
those three people are all very like designer
Yes.
connected, right? They're on a lot of red carpets. They're like, I believe Zendaya has a maybe a sponsorship with a Chanel or a somebody fancy. I don't know.
She was doing all that jewelry stuff, right? And people were criticizing her. I don't know. it's not
When
working.
you are a scent spokesperson,
Yeah.
are you is it like in your contract that you have to walk around smelling like that?
I bet not.
Do you think?
I bet
Like,
not.
does somehow have to smell like Paradigm?
Look, we do brand deals at New Rockstars, and we've done a scent brand deal in the past, I think, right?
Yeah.
It's been years. We did not have that in our contract.
No, but you think we're getting the same terms Tom Holland does?
Yeah, we got paid millions of dollars for that, right?
Or maybe it's
Scent
just
bird,
you
is that
have
what it
to at the brand new day premiere you have to smell like us.
I wouldn't
I
doubt
would
it.
say maybe that.
I wouldn't doubt it. And if you to use my Chipotle line example again, if you're standing behind Tom Holland at Chipotle and he smells like Ralph Lauren Polo, you'd be
you're
like,
right.
my man.
Paco Rabanne, the one.
Yes. CK1 from my high school days. Yeah. Anyways, kudos. I want to go smell this. We've consumed Bureau on this show.
Yeah.
And I will say,
Oh, you know
Bureau
what? How
is
much
good.
is the Prada scent? Do you think it's going to be
I
expensive?
bet it's like $80, $100.
Now, if he's doing again, we should move on. But I'm going to say something else. If he's doing 5 cents, 5 sprays a day, do you think it's one of those situations where even he is like, man, perfumes are so expensive that it's like one of those soap dispenser things where after it gets halfway, you just top it off with water.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe he's just putting water in and then it's watered down, so he's just spraying a couple extra.
and like somebody in the chat is probably roasting us, right? I mean, guaranteed
Fairly.
somebody's roasting us. Because like there's also, there's eau de parfum, and there's like, there are different densities
Eau
of
de
scent.
toilette
Yes.
is probably most common.
I assume the 5 sprays is of the more watered down density. Because like the really hardcore stuff, that's like one dab and you're already stinky.
Yeah. What I like to do is go into a Sephora and then spray it on the little tester thing and then just rub it on myself.
You don't like to go direct on yourself.
Well, I feel like if an employee sees me doing it direct on myself, they'll be like, "What are you doing?"
Whereas you think when the employee sees you rubbing paper,
Well, I put it
all
on
over
the
yourself?
I put it on the paper and then I walk out. And then I
In the alley?
And then yeah, exactly.
I'm not a scent gal.
No.
I'm just gonna say it. I'm just saying it.
I have some like formative memories of like being at the dentist and like a good smelling dentist or dental hygienist leaning
I
over
don't
you
like
and just getting washed with
don't
the
like
sandalwood or the whatever scent they're wearing and like that kind of taking the pain away briefly. That I have
Oh, wow.
I have very positive connections to scent.
Novocaine.
Interesting.
Coming
Oh,
next
okay.
fall.
Bicuspid.
But it's
By-
spelled all fucking weird.
Yeah.
Hey, let's talk about this movie a little bit
Okay.
more.
Now, John, I have a couple more thoughts. And we didn't go too deep into Mr. Negative. So in the Inner Demons gang
Yes, there was a set image of a tank or an armored vehicle that had this sort of like red devilish logo. It's not the exact one from the comics, but painted on the side of this tank. So I want to basically ask the question, that's a shit ton of villains. And I know that we just got a Spider-Man movie with like 8 villains in it because they were all multiversal or whatever. But like, how do you have a movie with the Punisher, with Mr. Negative, with
Scorpion?
a potential Scorpion with a potential Savage Hulk as a villain. That's a lot of villains.
Well, and the Savage Hulk and a Punisher are interesting because, like,
they could be.
They might not be villains.
They might not be.
yeah, and you could see, no offense to Matt Gargan and all of his great work, you could see him being a one-scene villain along the lines of a Mole Man in Fantastic Four.
Sure.
Right?
And still be a scene stealer.
Yes.
Scene stealer.
Absolutely. Yeah.
It's an interesting choice, I guess.
Even could we see a world where Scorpion is working on behalf of Mr. Negative? He is a goon.
Sure. That's a great point.
I mean, in
that
the,
like Shocker and
yes,
some of
in
the
that
other characters.
aforementioned Homecoming, right? He had the Tinkerer, he had the Shocker, kind of under his.
I'm all about lots of villains. Like, we always see lots of heroes.
Yeah.
I'm all for it. But where's the lady villain?
Where's the lady
That's
villain?
what I want.
Well, could that be Sadie Sink?
Oh?
People have said Jean Grey because she has red
Red
hair.
hair.
People have said MJ because she has red hair.
Or Gwen Stacy.
No.
Mary Jane?
Yeah, red hair.
Because
right.
our MJ's not named Mary Jane, so it could be a
Oh,
second
you could
MJ, which
still
I
have
hate
a-
that theory.
yes.
I think it's crazy.
I hate it.
I'm on team Black Cat, although she doesn't have white hair, but wigs.
Well, there's a storied history of was it Bryce Dallas Howard appearing in the Toby movies and changed her hair color. So did Emma Stone, who is often presented as a redhead in some. But Emma Stone is a natural blonde, I believe, and was blonde in those movies, right?
Yeah.
So
Who knows?
we can't assume
Hair color,
Sadie
throw it
Sink's
out.
hair color till we see the trailer.
Throw it out.
Means
Yeah.
nothing.
But yeah, I mean, maybe another villain. It would be really. I mean, I can see it being likely, I guess, that it could be a love interest of Peter if he takes this stance that like he wants MJ to be safe and living her own life and all of this kind of stuff. Same thing maybe with Ned, and he's trying to move on. I think that would be really sad.
It's bold, yeah. When people get so invested in a romance, to give you a second one like that, they've got to knock it out of the park, or
Yeah.
people are going to be ticked. Like, I can think of many examples where a first romance was great and a second was better, but like people are attached to them, especially because they're a real couple.
Very Spider-Man
Like, yeah,
of them, right? Toby and Kirsten and Andrew and Emma all dated, right, in real life. Yeah.
Do you think, again, I'm going to the conspiracy corner here, much like my Cologne chatter.
Zendaya's already broken.
Well,
they've already broken
is
up.
there a world where Marvel and Sony want to keep doing Tom Holland movies as long as Tom Holland wants to do Spider-Man movies, right? They all make a ton of money. It's a successful collaboration. They want to insure against a Zendaya-Tom Holland breakup. If she's the only love interest they ever show, can you make a movie with Tom Holland and Zendaya after they break up?
I think you can. I think that they hopefully would be professionals. That does feel like a very old school studio manipulation move, though.
I feel like we shouldn't put that out in the universe, 'cause it's going to upset people.
True.
But to be fair, he did have a different love interest in Homecoming. He had
You're
Liz.
right.
That's right. That's right. Good point.
Yeah, I don't like thinking about it.
Yeah.
They're so sweet.
Well, and maybe you get a little like a Catwoman, like a little sexual energy from an antagonist,
Right. I like
kind
that.
of a flirty,
Sure. I mean, Black
but
Cat
like
again.
yeah.
And I'm sure, next Monday when we do the show again, we might see characters in costume or something like that and be able to talk about.
What are the odds that we get 8-second clips of different costumes from Sony? You know what I'm saying? Like in the same way we got this from Spider-Man, what if we get that
Give me-
across a
Like,
Black
with some
Cat?
green
Or-
skin.
Ooh,
Yeah,
yes.
give me the shot from the Amazing Spider-Man 2 post-credit scene where we get all of those fucking...
Oh, the Sinister.
Yeah,
He's
the
walking
Sinister
by the
Six.
display cases.
Yeah, that's
What
right.
if- and what
They
if the
just put
fun-
in the new
What
costumes.
if but it's just all these like obtuse, close-ups, and then the final one is like Mr. Negative with his weird like X-ray
That would be kinda
visuals.
cool.
I mean, it'll be fascinating to see how they pull that. If they do that character, as yet unconfirmed, how that is pulled off in live action. We've seen it well done in a video game, but
I think at this point that is cake for them.
I think you're right. I think we said this before stream. I think Marvel Studios has done the best job in terms of comic book movies with taking things that you would think are really goofy from the comics and making them work well in live action. They maybe were a little scared to do a lot of Reed stretching, and I don't know that I blame them, but I think everything else has really worked.
I mean, we have spent a lot of time talking about that baby, so I get it. I get the fears.
Yeah, but the baby isn't weird from the comics. That's just weird CGI.
Good point.
Speaking of weird babies, that baby in Superman was weird. That was a weird
Well,
baby.
it intended to be a weird
You're
But
right.
like, Baby Joey can look weird because it's not a human baby.
Yeah, you're
Yes.
right. You're right.
The Hollywood Reporter announcing the official casting of Mark Ruffalo and Michael Mando also kind of reiterated, we've known for a long time Dustin Daniel Cretton is directing this movie, Shang-Chi, among other properties, director, and kind of reiterated that this is a, street level, and seemed to also say that Tom Holland's been training for lots of stunts, which he's done lots of stunts in all the movies. Homeboy can do a flip.
Gymnast, yeah.
But there's been a lot of speculation. Does the director and some of the other choices, is this gonna be a more martial artsy, kicky, punchy?
I always want punching. That's why I love the first half of Shang-Chi way more than I like the second half, because there's lots of bang bangs, when we say street level, that's what I want. I like big action too, but my favorite kind of movie is like a 90s action movie, because that is when we get John Woo comes to America and crushes it.
Yeah.
So that's what I would like to see.
Well, and I think too, right, one of the biggest criticisms of the John Watts Spider-Man movies was the web swinging action in those films. Mark Webb did if there's one thing that Mark Webb did really well with the Amazing Spider-Man films, it was man, that web swinging looked great. Even the Sam Raimi stuff also, I thought, looked really good, especially for the time. You got that incredible, pre 9/11 teaser of all that stuff. It looked so good, and I loved in the third Spider-Man movie, the kind of reflections that they were doing and how it mirrored the characters. So I'm excited to see a little bit of a refresh on the web swinging stuff.
Especially because, and I think I agree with Jamie, within the MCU, the Spider-Man franchise, the Tom Holland era, has been so good top to bottom, right?
Yeah.
And they've been very successful. And
This is the first time we've gotten a fourth Spider-Man movie
with an actor, right?
Yeah.
But there is a little change up in that we are getting the same writers, McKenna and whatever the other guy. Yeah. Obviously, the cast is staying consistent, but a new director. And so, to your point, John Watts did a lot of really great stuff, and I think the tone he established, the kind of lighter John Hughesy tone, and was wonderful in a lot of his visual elements, kind of a brighter, sunnier kind of style. And then the writers have been good. These movies have been pretty coherent and well done. They haven't had some of the choppy, pasted together feel that sometimes MCU movies can feel. So it'll be interesting to add to that mix a director with a different aesthetic and maybe a different background.
Well, you mentioned Shang-Chi earlier. Dustin Daniel Cretton has also in his filmography worked with Michael B. Jordan and Brie Larson, other MCU actors.
So you're saying we get Killmonger in this movie?
I'm wondering if we could take a bet right now. Do you think we'll get... the answer is no. Do you think we'll get a Captain Marvel? Do you think we'll get a Killmonger? Any of those kind of actors coming? Directors love to bring back the people. Ryan Coogler, I don't know if he's ever made a movie without Michael B. Jordan, right?
Killmonger would be insane. What a ridiculous
Yeah, it would
thing.
be nuts.
But I love the moment where Carol and Peter meet in Endgame. It's a really cute moment.
Yeah.
And I would love her. I want her to always show up. And one of my biggest, I always.
And she was in Shang-Chi, right, in the post-credits
Yeah,
scene?
she was.
Yeah.
And I'm always talking about the stupid chairs. I'm obsessed with these chairs. But the fact that none of the Marvels were on the chairs, I would love to be surprised with one of them. Any
Wouldn't
of
that
them.
be fun?
Miss Kamala Khan lives right across the
Yes.
river.
That's right. And we got a bunch of New Yorkers.
Recently, referenced in Daredevil Born Again.
Gad was there.
Which also featured the Punisher. So,
And you know Iman Vellani would be like, a Spider-Man movie? Yes, please.
of course. Well, then let's talk about, we have the characters that have kind of been confirmed. There's a lot of rumored characters or speculated characters that have still not been confirmed. In addition to what actor might be playing Mr. Negative. Is Charlie Cox's Daredevil going to show up in this movie?
It feels likely.
The Punisher. He was in the last one.
People just want to see him. They know that they're getting butts and seats if they're Charlie Cox is here. But what would be the reason? Is he just the lawyer again?
Right. Well, and I think, is there a more thirsted after team up now in the MCU? People were very excited about Deadpool and Wolverine meeting and teaming up in their own movie. I think at this point, like, Spider-Man and Daredevil is the team up people want the most.
Is it?
Maybe
fair.
the team up I want the most.
Okay, fair. Yeah.
What would
Well,
you?
wouldn't
is
you
there
say
another one?
that even like Spider-Man Hulk, from like a big, broad audience perspective, those are two more recognizable theatrical characters?
Yeah, but they didn't share too many scenes, I guess, in Avengers Endgame.
What I want the most, what team up I want the most, wouldn't happen until Secret Wars, which is I really want to see Toby and Hugh Jackman just have a scene together.
Yeah.
Because like we wanted that 25 years ago, and just like that's all I care about. Give me that, and then we're done with the nostalgia. Have Secret Wars be our last bit of nostalgia, and then let's end it forever. Let's never do nostalgia ever again.
As far as previous Spider-Man,
Until 20 years from now,
Sure,
when we're
sure.
nostalgic with
Yeah,
the
yeah,
MCU.
yeah.
roll them out in wheelchairs, and
Until they're 90.
as far as previous MCU Spider-Man cameo kind of characters, what are the odds we see Nick Fury in this movie? Low?
You know what's so interesting? I feel like, I don't know if there's something going on between Sam Jackson and Marvel. I don't think that there is, but like, we've been a little quiet on Nick Fury stuff. He wasn't one of the people in the chairs. It seems like Val is sort of doing that maybe a little bit on a darker level. But like, where
There's
yeah,
no world
you're
we get
surprised.
through. There's no world we get through Doomsday and Secret Wars and don't see him, right?
I think you're right, but like,
And when did we last see him? The Marvels, and
Yeah.
so he's still working.
yeah. But it used to feel like every movie we were getting
Yes.
Nick Fury.
What about Doctor Strange?
I think no.
No,
He's off world.
he did his duty.
He was in
to
the
Spider-Man.
last
his
one.
duty.
Like, I don't think anyone cares.
Yeah.
I mean, I want to see you again. Just, I don't need you in this movie.
But it is interesting, right? Like, we just had Fantastic Four, which was not a cameo movie, right? I mean, we got some cameos of some older Fantastic Four actors.
There's a particular hood in the post-credit scene.
Yeah. But
yeah.
like, even Thunderbolts was a little bit more contained to its own characters. I don't know if Marvel is sort of shying away from like the, hey, we want to pull in this character from this other thing. Stuff.
I agree. The one thing I would counter is, and who knows, not to get too pocket watchy, but like, it feels like we might be now in a world in which like the tiers of comic book movie successes are a little bit more stratified. In that, like, most comic book movies make in that kind of 400 to 500 million now, and it like might take a gigantic crossover Deadpool, Wolverine, or Avengers movie to cross $1 billion, and like maybe they want this to feel like on an Avengers level. So like, take this guy, her, him, he.
A little bit of kind of a backdoor Avengers movie like they did with Civil War.
It's going to be hard for this box office to beat the last Spider-Man.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Like that's the thing. If they're
Almost
going
impossible.
for that, that's never going to happen.
Right.
We're first of all, it's a different time, but the draw of the Spider-Man was something that like you can't do that every time, and I mean we don't want that. I don't think. Right.
No,
No,
and
we did it.
that's a
It
great
worked.
point.
I don't need
And,
it again.
and it's also hard for a creative team. I'm sure this had an impact on John Watts choosing to leave the franchise, to be like, no matter how good a movie we make, it will not be as successful as the last one we made. That is a
point.
weird feeling that affects all artists, right? When you know, like, there's literally no way for us to match our previous success.
And it's not your fault.
And it's not your fault.
Yeah.
The world is different, and that was a total outlier, biggest movie ever kind of deal. And so
that
like,
movie was so big that like we at New Rockstars still talk about how it in fact impacted our business. Yeah,
for
huge.
like 18 months, it changed our business. Yeah, and so maybe it is like that's a good point to counter my own previous argument. Like that. Oh, but if we make it more, it's a John Wick Spider-Man movie or something like that with fewer cameos, no multiversal shenanigans, no magic, and it's a little bit more kicky punchy, but still with emotional heft. Then it feels different enough that it doesn't have to be directly compared to the last one, right?
yeah.
I have a question for you because I know that a lot of people are kind of over Smart Hulk. Do you? I don't really have a preference. Do you guys? Are you like, no, I must see him smash again? Do you care? And then getting to Savage or however we do it.
I just want to see him angry.
Okay.
I think that's like so important to the character in a lot of ways, and it now kind of feels like we're not getting a kind of core element of that character.
him going angry.
Yeah.
So maybe you're saying
And
like,
being fucking huge and all that kind of, like he's now kind of a slender Hulk, you know?
slender. We need some side by sides. Has he lost his bulk? Yeah, I don't mind it, and I think it's kind of silly and fun, the Ruffaloization of his face with his little glasses and whatever. But I do agree that like maybe part of what some people dislike about the Smart Hulk portrayal is that he's also not usually fighting.
Right.
He's like sitting in a diner and giving science advice, or he's in a little spacesuit doing time travel. And it's like if you still Smart Hulk, but he's still breaking through walls and punching guys in outer space or whatever, maybe that can give you the best of both worlds.
And I think She-Hulk is sort of fitting that niche for me, right? The like person, the Hulk that's powered but still kind of has it all together. Yeah.
My thing is, I think that Smart Hulk would have been the perfect ending for him. Because it's like, he did it! But then they're like, no, but we want to keep bringing Ruffalo back, so you have to kind of regress a little.
Yeah.
So speaking of which, Scar?
Oh my god.
Is he ever
Are
mentioned?
you gonna get Scar in this?
Did we get a one-line joke of like,
Like,
sorry,
my son's in Malibu
now
right
that
now.
this guy's apprehended, I better go home because it's my weekend with the kid. You know?
My problem is that I want so badly the like Billy romance, but like that's the only son we've met so far, and Billy's not going for that haircut. I'm just saying.
One of the, I think, sort of like underrated announcements that happened today was Sony also tagged the release date on this announcement, right? It's coming in July 2026.
Yes.
There was a lot of speculation with the push of Doomsday and Secret Wars that this movie might also get delayed, especially because it's going to be less than a year from starting principal photography to that movie's release.
1 day less than a
One day less, but
it comes
you know,
out July 30th.
I should say,
yeah.
Fantastic Four just did that this year and I think pulled it off. This is great news, but and tagged with Feige coming out in that interview he gave a couple weeks ago, saying that the Spider-Man movie was not going to be like a multiversal story and was going to be a little bit more grounded, like a lot of fans were hoping. What do you guys make of like the timeline of this? Doomsday was originally going to come out before this movie. Now it's going to come out 6 months afterward. Do you think that even makes a difference?
It feels like the Black Panther into Infinity War thing, where that worked so well, and then we had Captain Marvel into Endgame, but specifically the Black Panther. I think that people, if they're gonna think, oh, this is leading us into it. That it could be really important. We have to see whatever the post-credit scene is gonna be. But it is, they do this a lot, right? Like, oh, well, that was supposed to come out before. It's like the WandaVision Multiverse of Madness thing. Like, how does it affect it? Are they gonna change things?
Yeah.
Yeah, that'll be interesting because I believe Tom Holland is also, as of now, not confirmed to be in Doomsday. And there's
Not
been
a
some
chair.
reports
Didn't
he
have
is.
a chair.
And there's some reports that like we will not see a chair for him because he is not going to be in Doomsday. Presumably, he will be in Secret Wars. Kind of take one movie off.
They gotta save some people for Secret
Yes.
Wars.
Yeah. But well, and to your point,
I disagree. Put him in Doomsday.
there you go. I like the. You're right, John. Assuming all goes well, the like 1 year from beginning of shooting to release feels tight for a gigantic, big special effects heavy movie. But like, if they can pull it off, that's great. And you know, obviously, Doomsday will end up being almost twice that long as far as production to completion.
Right.
But we've heard a lot that, in addition to the script's not even done, you know, there's so many moving parts in organizing the schedules and all the different, you know, groupings of actors is maybe what is causing that to take so long. And if this is a more contained story, and maybe the script was locked and ready to rock. There was that early report of when Tom Holland and Zendaya read it and they're
bouncing
home.
off the walls.
They loved it, right? So like maybe it was already in a better place.
Forgive my ignorance. Are they done filming The Odyssey, Tom? And
I believe they are.
okay.
I believe they are.
I mean, I already bought my tickets. I hope they are.
I tried.
Oh, boy. Well, and you know, this is a Marvel Studios production. It is a Sony distributed film, but Marvel Studios is producing it, and I'm sure there are, you know, SAG rules and fees and all that kind of shit. But you know, can you see a world where they said they were shooting in Glasgow instead of in New York? I'm sure for tax reasons, but they also said to be close to Pinewood because that's where they're doing their stages in London. That's also where they're shooting Avengers Doomsday. You know, I could see a world where Tom just jumps over to Pinewood and shoots on a different set.
Or certainly
for a
Ruffalo
couple of
does.
Doomsday sets. Exactly, right?
Right? Yeah.
He didn't have a chair.
Ruffalo?
Did Ruffalo have a chair?
Ruffalo had a chair?
I don't think he did.
There were so many names, guys.
I thought you had the chairs.
I know. That's why I'm like,
Do you have it in your
I
wallet?
keep saying
Like,
I
I'm
know
the
it was all the Thunderbolts and it
But
was all the
no.
Fantastic Four and it was the Wakandans. Yeah, but you would assume one of those two actors might appear in Doomsday, if not both.
Yeah. Just put Scorpion.
And again, Glasgow and London are different cities in different parts, different
but,
countries.
But I'm sure a Marvel private jet away.
Oh, yeah,
for
it's a
like
puddle
an
jump.
hour of a
20
flight,
minutes.
sure,
as
right?
opposed to crossing the Atlantic
Right.
or whatever. Yes.
Yeah.
Boy, Glasgow is going to be both Gotham and New York City.
Oh, is that? Oh, yeah, that's right.
And that's where Matt Reeves shoots the Batman movies too.
Fun. I think maybe fits the Batman Gotham universe a little bit more than New York
Yes.
City, but
New York, a real place with real buildings.
I think the little last piece of news before we wrap things up is there was a report that said that Black Panther 3 was sort of the next closest movie to production for Marvel Studios, but also that it was going to be a 2027 production.
Yeah, it's
and
going
a
to start
2028 release.
Yeah, that the current kind of news being reported, and we've heard earlier reports that like Marvel's very excited about Black Panther 3. Obviously, that those early things about Denzel Washington being in it, that's been out there for quite a while now. But the latest per Jeff Snyder and John Roca on the Hot Mic podcast saying that it is currently slated to begin filming the summer of 2027. Or no, yeah, I think that was it. For a release on February of 28. So that would be 2 months after Avengers Secret Wars.
We had this debate on Phase Hero
that's
this
right.
week. Is it really after Secret Wars, or is it going to be before Secret Wars? That's the big discussion.
So there's a, like, Marvel hasn't even slated movies in 2028 and beyond, but there is a spot in the July of 2027 where the same spot that Spider-Man will occupy the year before, that is as of yet unannounced.
Which
what
Marvel
movie that will be.
Love loves, right? Deadpool,
They call
Wolverine last
dibs.
year,
Yeah.
F4 this year, Spider-Man, etc.
I'd love a surprise. Like, I'm still hoping for some young Avenger business, but I do think we need something before Secret Wars.
Well, I think a lot of people want that to be the Jake Schreier X-Men movie, although I think that has been sort of debunked as a possibility. I would love that movie to be in that spot. That would be very cool.
It feels like we're not doing that until we get rid of the old
That
guys.
might-
We're going to get them. They're having one last hurrah, and then Jake's
You'll get the
coming.
new cast probably in Secret Wars, hopefully,
Maybe,
but maybe in bit parts, small roles, all that kind of stuff.
And if this is, again, not confirmed by Marvel, if this timeline for Black Panther turns out to be true, a couple interesting things. That would mean, like, the next movie coming out in 2028, 6 years after the previous movie. It's a pretty big gap. 10 years after the original movie. 10 years of Black Panther movies. Some people have been speculating that kind of time span, and who knows if they jump forward in the timeline or back, or who knows what Secret Wars will do. It gives you the opportunity, if you did want a little T'Challa Jr., he could be fighting age by that point.
And maybe just young enough to be in a Young Avenger.
Well,
Even though that's not a thing, they can make it a thing.
I will say, I did see someone point this out online, and I think that they are right. It would be a bummer to have a sort of young T'Challa in this movie grappling with his role in leadership of Wakanda, considering that was sort of the theme of the first Black Panther movie, and that was sort of the theme of the second Black Panther movie. And do you do that a third time? I don't know. Maybe, I mean, Ryan Coogler is such a great director and has put out, I think, only great films in his filmography. So betting on him is a great choice. But it does feel like that might be the third kind of retread in a similar story.
We don't know what role Denzel's going to play.
Yeah.
And I bet as soon as we find that out, that might tell us a little bit more about
Do you think
what the
Denzel could
plot's
be
gonna
American?
In real life? Or you're saying
Well,
in the
I
film?
mean, you know, in the sort of prologue of Black Panther and the epilogue, we are in Oakland, right?
Yeah.
If I'm remembering correctly. I think it could be interesting if he had Wakandan heritage, but was like living in America or something like that.
Yeah.
He has to be in some way Wakandan though, because he's
Right,
Denzel.
of course.
Like, come on. I don't care what this movie's about. I'm ready for some Denzel in the MCU.
Yes, and the accent work he may or may not attempt.
Well, that's a part
If you saw Gladiator 2, there was a conspicuous lack of accent on him.
He should have been nominated, just saying.
Yeah, and who knows? He could be an antagonist, could be playing a villain, could be, we could get, we're about to have Eyes of Wakanda today. Actually, it just comes out today on Disney Plus, which is going to span time. What if Black Panther 3 takes place in the year of AD 900 or something
that would
like
be
that?
wild, and maybe they do some time stuff like they're kind of doing with Fantastic Four, pulling those sort of retro-futuristic characters into a more modern day thing. Maybe they do a multiverse and pull a more young adult T'Challa out of that, or Black Panther, I should say, not necessarily T'Challa. There's a million options. I'm sure they know what it is at this point.
I hope so.
What if it's mostly about blues music? Okay, set in the American South.
I'm listening.
Okay.
There's twins.
There's twins.
Thank you guys so much for watching our show this week. Hey, if you enjoyed having Jamie here like we did on the show this week, you can check her out on the Phase Hero podcast. Where else can they find you?
I also do a podcast called Love in the Time of Hydra, where we revisit every Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
We
episode on its
have
10th anniversary.
so many Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. heads in the chat and watching the Breakroom. I'm sure they would love to check that out. Zach and I, you can find us on social media, but
Can't find me.
Go find Jamie and watch all of her great stuff. We will see you guys next week. Thank you guys so much for watching. Bye.